The RCMP is changing the way it recruits its future Mounties. The force says the current entrance exam has cultural biases, has outdated criteria, and it's time for an overhaul. Catherine Tunney has been looking into this for us. She is live in Ottawa with more on the shakeup, the details of what's changing and why. Catherine.
Well, Heather, basically the RCMP is saying that its old exam is not netting, not attracting the recruits that the RCMP desperately is looking for and needs. So this is the entrance exam, kind of the screening exam, if you will, that hopeful Mounties would take before they even get to training at Depot in Saskatchewan to see if they have what it takes to be an RCMP officer. And the RCMP is now saying that they admit that that exam in itself is acting as a barrier and not attracting diverse candidates to the RCMP. And it says some of that is because there is inherent cultural bias in the exam, that there are outdated scenarios, and that some of the vocabulary is making some groups test higher than others on that test. Therefore, they get allowed to, come on into the force, go into training, and other groups are stopped. So it posted a tender this week looking for a contractor, looking for someone to basically rewrite that entrance exam and kind of scrub those old cultural biases out of it so that they can attract more diverse candidates to the RCMP.
In reporting, you've talked about how the RCMP is facing a staffing crunch, a decline in applicants. What is causing that?
As you said, there is a staffing crunch. There's not as many people apparently want to be a Mountie as they used to, and not as many people are applying and then, going through the necessary training in order to be a police officer. And this tender that the RCMP put out kind of attributes that to what they call changes to the Canadian social and demographic context. And I got to admit, Heather, I don't really know what that means. That is a pretty vague sentence. But on a serious note, of course, it's been reported before that the RCMP, there's been talks that it has a toxic culture, a culture that, tolerates homophobia and racism and misogyny, and that maybe it's contributing to the idea that it's not being not a workforce place that people maybe are attracted to. In the past, RCMP Commissioner Brenda Lucki has said that this is one of her goals, that she really wants to make sure that her RCMP force reflects the communities that they serve, and that she's really trying to look and attract Canadians of all different skin colors and backgrounds. Now, the numbers so far show that that's not really bearing fruit. The numbers of visible minorities and women have remained pretty stagnant over the past decade. But maybe something like this exam will change things. Of course, it's quite apparent that that's what the RCMP wants.
Catherine, thank you for this morning with us, and I'll direct people to your online reporting as well, CBCNews.ca, with more of Catherine Tunney's writing there on this issue. Thank you.